Welcome to this DaVinci Resolve Fusion node breakdown. Today's node is the Channel Boolean Node for 3D. So we're going to jump into Fusion, and I've got a little setup here. And first thing, before we bring in the Channel Boolean Node, we need two materials, because this is what the Channel Boolean Node does. It allows you to mix and remap, modify your 3D materials within your 3D nodes. So let's go ahead and just make a couple quick materials here. We're going to bring in a blend node, and let's just make this blue. And let's bring in a Phong node. And let's make this red, so we can see what's happening when we're mixing them. So if we wanted to mix these two materials together using mathematical operations, we can use the Channel Boolean Node. Now, when you search the Channel Boolean Node, remember we have multiple Channel Boolean nodes. And the channel, we have our regular Channel Boolean node that we used earlier on just regular 2D stuff, but we have this Channel Boolean which says 3 BOL. This is the one we want for 3D materials. So I'm going to add that. And on our node, we have a background and a foreground input. So let's go ahead and input this on our foreground. We're going to input this into our background and this into our material. And the way the Channel Boolean node for 3D operation nodes work, we have two operands in an operation. So within our red channel, we can pick multiple operands. And this is determinant on what operation you choose. So right now, within our red channel, we have an operation that's saying we're using operand A, just as it is. So as we see it. Now, if I selected B, it's going to select B. And it looks weird because right here we have our red foreground going over. But I can also pick a combo of the two, which is A plus B. And once I pick one that has multiple ones, whatever one you pick, A plus B, AB, you can see we have different operations within that operation selection. Then I can pick what I want these two operands to do. So I want to bring in, for my red channel, I want to bring in my red background, which is my Phong node. Let's do this. So we got foreground and background. And then I want to bring in my blue background. So that's just adding those two together. So if I change my operation to say A times B, it's going to multiply them. A minus B is going to subtract them. A divided by B is going to divide them. And we can do this on every single channel. So if on my operand, I wanted to bring in my red background and just add them together. And down here, I want to subtract operand B, which is my blue foreground. You can see we can start getting some different and weird colors going on. And once we start bringing in actual materials within our nodes, so I could bring in, say, an albedo and input that to our diffuse. And I'll bring in an AO and stick that into our specular color. And I'll bring in a normal map. We'll add a bump. Input that to our bump material. This into our bump map, and I'll let it know it's a bump. So we've actually got some bump going on right there. So if I go to my nodes and maybe pick a little better colors here, or different colors. So I can start bringing out some of the different stuff in there. We can go to our Channel Boolean node, and let me cut this out, and I'm going to bring my lightness from that one and the lightness from my background in, and I'm going to go up here and start playing with my colors. So I'm going to bring in my red foreground and maybe my blue background. And I'm going to start changing some of these operations to get a look I kind of like. And you can see we can start coming up with some different, weird, unique materials. So I can start messing with some of my other stuff. And you can see we're starting to get just different looks. And we can take our bump, we can actually bring that into our other material. So we've got a little bump going on. And make sure that's spread across. And you can see our material's getting a little weird. But that is how the Channel Boolean node works. So I'll just go over some of these operations so you know what they mean. So if I select A, it's just basically selecting what operand on A I selected. If I select B, whatever operand on B I select. 1 minus A is going to subtract the value of operand A from 1. 1 minus B is going to subtract that value from operand B. A plus B is going to add the values of operand A and B together. A minus B is going to subtract them. A times B is going to multiply them. A divided by B is going to divide them. Min AB is going to compare the value of the operands A and B and return whatever's smaller. Max AB is going to return whatever is larger between the two operands. And average is going to average them out. And within each of our operand, you notice we have red foreground, green foreground, blue foreground, alpha foreground, red background, green background. So you have channels for both foreground and background. And it's not just your RGBA channels. We can also use straight black. We can use white. We can use a mid-gray. We can select our hue values from the foreground or the background. We can select lightness values from our foreground or background. And we can select saturation from our foreground and background. And additionally, we can select our positioning. So if we select our X, Y, Z position, it's going to take the values of those and use those in our calculation. So we can use the X position, the Y position, and the Z position. Additionally, we can use our U, V, and W texture positions. W. And we can use our normal X, Y, and Z values. So our normal X, Y, and Z. So combining all these, you can see we can get some different looks. Now, once you get the look you want within your coordinate space, you can use your model, world, or eye space. And this is just basically what math this is going to be using. And additionally, we can change our material ID for that material we just created. So that is the Channel Boolean node for 3D materials. I will see you in the next node breakdown.